Okay, we're live. So,
all right.
Facebook, you have no idea what we've been through today. We look so fresh and beautiful. This is our second time interviewing because the first time the computer timed out and it didn't go nowhere. So
we just had this amazing 3-hour interview that you all would have loved, and
it made Gandhi look like, I don't know.
Longer than Avengers Endgame. It was epic.
You guys, welcome to the stage, the upstate New York queen of comedy. She's been on Broadway, acting, singing, improv, you name it. This girl can do it all. She hates it. She'd rather be roasted than toasted. So,
well, I'll stop you from calling me the upstate queen because we do have a comedian up here named Dee Watson, and she is the comedy queen up here. So,
no, I'll stop. My bad.
Princess. I think she's got a few months older than me, so she can be the queen. Princess.
Awesome. Well, this is Lauren Turczak, you guys. Turczak. When you get to New York, or you ever hear her coming out here to the West, get out to see her because she rocks the house. She's talk about funny comics. And I'm not saying funny women in comedy, funny comics. She is.
Well, how awful is it that they would even have to say it's one of those funny women comics?
Yeah. Funny women.
Right. Or, because we don't say always one of those funny male comics. Nobody says that.
Yeah, oh, she's a funny woman and she's not a bitch. That's odd.
Oh, well, now wait a minute. I never said I wasn't a bitch. No. So is that my secret that I can be funny because I happen to be a bitch?
You are so good on stage. When you're on stage doing your, I saw you at the 76 House doing comedy with Jack Hoffman Productions. Yes. Shout out to the big guy. He developed the Easy Pass. Don't mess with Jack Hoffman. You'll be sorry. But I saw her on stage killing it, relating to everybody, but not placating people, standing firm in who she was as a strong comic and delivering great material. On par with every guy, if not surpassing them.
Oh, well, that was Bill Irvolino, I think, was the headliner that night. So shout out to him. I did not surpass him, but I was as funny as him. But he explained, what did he say? I curse, I curse on stage. Yes. I'm not known as one of the cleaner comics. It's not vulgar. I don't think I do vulgar. I do a lot of innuendo, and I drop the occasional F-bomb more as a spice than a main flavor in the dish. But that's not his thing at all. And I get off the stage, and he compared me to Susie Essman. He goes, "You're like Susie Essman." So yeah.
I'll take that compliment.
Oh, yeah. It's like, all right, I'll take that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I felt like you were, other comics in life, they get up on stage and they're saying things to be funny. And you came across as the most real, speaking and feeling and really engaged. And you were saying really true things about your life.
No, maybe. So you have to, whatever you are saying, you have to sell it as though it was a really true thing about your life. But I try to start with the truth and just expand on it, so it's not boring.
Right.
But I think, it also, some of it is just experience on stage, because I did start out in theater, so I was comfortable on stage. And I think some of the newer comics just need to get their legs under them and just need to stop trying to be funny, because they, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them are funny. But when they try to, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot. And I've seen the progress with some people. I've watched them, and then a few years later, I was like, wow, that's not someone I ever thought would, get it done. And that was funny.
Isn't it true? And I don't know, I suppose there's no one answer what makes somebody turn that corner and start hitting.
No, you got to find your own lane and your own groove on the, on the LP, to date myself. But everybody has their own way of doing it. And if you try to
You said the magic word.
Oh my goodness. And the duck is going to drop from the ceiling. And all right. Anyway, nobody knows what we're talking about by Linda. They're all like 30 something. And they're like, what the fuck are they talking about? It was an old show. Look up Groucho Marx. Anyway.
Yeah. What was the name of his show?
I don't know.
I hate dementia, don't you?
Not whose life, it's who's something. I don't remember. Huh?
Yeah. Dementia kicked in.
Yes. I've got early onset, I think. No. There's a lot of that going around. Some of that in the White House. Anyway. I mean, that's the nice thing. It's either that or it's syphilis, but so hopefully it's not late stage syphilis, because that would be bad. We could turn this into a condom commercial right now.
Speaking of condoms, I don't know what you find weird about the whole pandemic, people running around trying to do the right thing. I thought it was really hilarious because the pandemic isn't funny, especially not in New York. But what I thought was funny is, oh my God, men are finally wearing protection.
Yes.
What do you find funny about it?
Hopefully they're not going to be wearing the condoms on their hands. When it started, there was a woman that came into my store with a Ziploc baggie on her hand, which I thought was, she was very, she was handling the things that she was looking at with her hand, and she didn't have gloves, I don't know, but she was picking everything up with this Ziploc baggie. And then when she came to pay, she took cash out of her bag, took a pile of cash and went, and I was like, okay, that's going to work out well for you.
I was being a germaphobe at first. We've gone through stages in the last 3 months.
Yes. It's like, no, I'm not wiping down every single envelope I take out of the mailbox anymore. I'm not doing it. It's eaten up half of my life. That's enough. If I have to die so that I don't have to wipe down my mail anymore, so be it. And fortunately, the CDC did come out and say that it's less likely now from touching. You can still get it. I mean, if you happen to hit that doorknob right after someone with, that blew his nose in his hands, went over, and you might, and then you put that to your face. So don't touch your face, wear a mask. But in general, things are not going to be, transmitted from surfaces.
So do you have a funny story that happened to you? I've had, every time I step out of my apartment, people are crazy out there, and I have new material I have to write.
Yes.
And like a bird.
I'm afraid that, the memes that are just flying everywhere are just, my next set might just be me recounting all the memes I saw. I have some favorites that I just feel like everybody should see. There's that one that says, wearing your mask like this. It's like wearing your underwear like this, and it shows a guy with his penis sticking out the top of his underwear. It's just the funniest thing. So yeah.
I thought, well, I can't touch anything at 7-Eleven, but I need some bleach. So I went, not to drink, to clean.
Please don't. Please, and don't gargle with bleach either. Please don't gargle with bleach.
No, I'm not even.
Somebody told you it was a good idea. It's not. People are doing it though. I thought they're not really going to do it, but they are. They're doing it.
I remember the good old days when people would drink really weird Kool-Aid and wear Nike tennis shoes.
It wasn't that long ago that we had the Tide Pod challenge. Let's bring that back. That's,
your pod or mine.
Yes. So, if you thought that was stupid, then don't drink bleach.
Yeah. Remember when people were drinking water till they died?
No. Was that a thing?
Yes. It was on a radio show. It got national attention because of the stupidity of the game show was to see who could drink the most water the fastest, and the guy died.
Wow. That's great. Water's supposed to be really good for you. I guess everything in moderation, right? Even water.
Yeah, the Bible comes back to hit us in the ass again.
Wow.
So
yeah, I think that's in 11. Huh?
No, you go ahead. You're the guest.
You said the Bible's going to come back to, I said, I think that part is in 2 Corinthians, right?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm really terrible at Bible callbacks.
Yeah, I know nothing about the Bible. I'm Jewish, so I don't know the sequel at all, really. But yeah, I just know that it's not supposed to be called 2 Corinthians, and All these, because he said that, he didn't, somebody fed him some religious lines so that he could appeal to his evangelical base. And so he came out and said 2 Corinthians, probably because somebody just wrote it down and he didn't realize it's supposed, they probably assumed he knew that, but he didn't know it's 2 Corinthians. So that just started, if you happen to be on Facebook with, 2,000 comedians, then the 2 Corinthians walked into a bar jokes just saw no end. So the good old days. The good old days when we were just arguing about COVID and, religion. And now we're stuck with.
I went to 7-Eleven. It's two buildings away from me. I have to pass a bunch of tweakers to get there at the bus stop. They hang out there. I get past them. I go in there and I'm like, I'm not touching anything. So I brought a plastic bag and I put my hand in the plastic bag. And I thought, how genius would it be of me to the proper thing and pick the bleach up with my hand in the bag and then turn the bag inside out and take it up to the register. Well, the guy on the camera didn't think it was real.
He thought you were stealing it? Did he think you were stealing the bleach?
So before I got done with him, he was apologizing and feeling bad for me because I'm explaining how, don't lump me in the category with the people that come to 7. I'm trying to,
But I mean, if you're going to steal from 7-Eleven, bleach, what is it, $1.98 for a gallon?
It's something like that,
There's way better things to steal at 7-Eleven, so.
And I was walking up the strip and I was walking in the middle of the road because, there's sidewalks on both sides of the street, but there's tweakers there. Scary tweak. In Vegas.
What is a tweaker? You have to explain tweaker to me because.
Not a homeless person, not somebody who's lower than me, just somebody who may still be having an acid trip from 1960.
Gotcha.
And they're literally not in their right mind and they're talking to thin air and I don't want to walk by them.
Right.
I really don't.
They're talking to people that you just can't see, Linda.
There you go.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. If they all were end up being true, then we're in trouble.
Yes. So I'm walking in the middle of the median on Vegas Boulevard because there's no traffic and a cop pulls me over. There's tweakers everywhere that are scary and dangerous. I'm old. I'm vulnerable. I have osteoporosis, I have hip problems. My fingers don't work like they used to. And I want to be safe. And so I'm walking in the middle and he stopped me and he said, you cannot jaywalk. And I wanted to tell him, you stupid idiot, that is not jaywalking. I'm walking parallel. You have to cross.
I'm not walking across the street. I'm walking in the street. There's a big difference. Idiot.
And he goes, why are you doing that? And I said, because there's tweakers over there and tweakers over there. And I feel safe here. And he says, you can't do that. If you don't feel safe, go home.
Nice.
I thought, let's back up here. You're protecting you're putting your life on the line. Every day you go out of your house, you're not staying at home. How's that working for you? You giving me advice you don't even take. And then I thought I need to do that song. I should have sang the song to him.
Tweakers to the left of me, tweakers to the right. Here I am.
Stuck in the middle with you. Then I'd have gone to jail.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, I try to be nice to police officers when I have interaction.
So hard.
I got in trouble with a judge once, and that was, but yeah, I got pulled over for speeding. I actually got the ticket that time, and I went to court to fight it because I was told that that's what I should do. I had an abstract of my license. I didn't have a history. And I sat there all night with this bumbling judge who kept taking his glasses off and looking around the room. I wasn't sure if he knew where he was. But every single person that went up before me was getting the same speech from him. I've looked over your blah, blah, and a blah, blah. And would you like to, they say you're interested in pleading this down to parking on the highway, I think it was. So finally, after like 2 hours of this, I got up and I was like, this one's easy. And I got up, I was like, oh my God, Judge, there's a lot of people parking on the highway. What's that about? And he goes, do you think that's funny? And I was like, no, I don't think that's funny. Yeah. So I paid my $150 fine, pled it down to parking on the highway. And it was like, well, you can plead this or you can go to trial. I was like, well, I guess I don't have a choice then, do I? And he took off his glasses and he goes, you do have a choice. I was like, all right, I'll plead it down. Wow.
So tell me about, we talked earlier, I need you to remind me and let new people know, when did you get into comedy? What's been the things you've done in the entertainment business till today?
Well, I was in theater for a long time. I was part of an off-Broadway showcase theater in Manhattan for years. And then I was a flight attendant for 5 years. And then I got married. And well, after that, actually, I had a pet sitting service. So I've done all the things I love. I've had a chance to do. I've traveled the world. I've spent lots of times with animals. And, I was a bartender for a while. So,
Wow.
but yeah, so I got married. I moved up to the North Country near the Albany area. And we adopted my daughter from China. And then my husband wound up getting sick. And I had not been performing because I had been out of theater for a while. But anyway, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's maybe 9 years ago. And I was not in good shape. And we had my daughter who was young. And I thought, we can't have two older, sick people. We've got this child to raise. So I really went about getting myself healthy and exercising and losing weight. And, and about a year in, I was feeling really good about myself. It was like late November. And I was like, you know what? I feel great. I want to go out. Let's go out and do something. Let's have a night out. And I went looking for things to do. And I found out that there was a comedy club in Albany. I was like, look, hon, there's a comedy club. Let's go see a show. I was like, oh, look, they have classes. That's funny. That would be funny. And that's all I said. And then he bought me that class as a Christmas present. So that was like 6 weeks of classes. And then at the end, they have a graduation ceremony, a graduation show. So I did the show and there were a few bookers in the room and I started getting little jobs here and there. And it just kept snowballing. And the more I performed, the more people would book me. And it was fun and I get some extra money for it. Now I'm up to like pretty steady feature work. So I do about a half an hour before the headliner. And it's I can't make a career out of it at this point because of, I'm older and, my husband needs me. I can't go traveling the country or moving into the city and really grinding. But, it's a way for me to express myself and still have a little bit of that entertainment. And I love being on a stage. I love making, it's portable, being in a show is not portable, but being a stand-up comedian, you can just take yourself and put yourself on stage. There's no rehearsals besides the set that you've worked out. There's no set there. You don't have to get the other comedians together. You just go to the show. You get up on the stage, you take the microphone, and it's all you. It's you talking to people with the stuff that you pulled out of your own ass, and so it's very easy to fit that into the rest of my life. So I do a few show when we can, when there's an audience available.
What's the farthest that you'll accept a gig from? Because you're up in
Albany. Yeah. So if I happen to be traveling, like I've performed in Tulsa, but I was there. I don't think anybody really wants to pay me what it would cost to get me out to Tulsa for a show. But yeah, I've traveled to out west coast of the west end of New York State, and I've done quite a few shows in Jersey and Massachusetts. So yeah, I think maybe like 3-4 hours each way. If there's a hotel or if there's enough money to make that, I want to be able to cover my costs and come out with some profit. I'm there, because it's a good outlet for me. I really enjoy making people laugh, and I enjoy all the people I get to work with. There's nothing, I love all my coworkers at the store. I'm my retail management, love them, but there's really nothing more fun than hanging out with other comedians.
I love the store you work for. I'm a huge fan of that product.
Thank you. Yeah. They've been very, they've really come through for us when so many other people just got laid off immediately. They really stuck by their employees. So they have earned my loyalty.
I'll continue to shop there then. That's good to hear. We want to skip over the name, right?
I don't know. I will, because I don't know what the rules are about that, but yeah.
Yeah, hit me up if you want to know privately.
Okay. Yes. Or, DM me, I'll tell you.
So you live in Albany?
I live in a place it's called Greenwich. It's north of Albany. It's kind of near Saratoga Springs. But yeah, it's in the Capital District. So
Got it.
yeah.
Awesome. So what kind of advice do you have for people who are trying to stay afloat in many different ways during this pandemic and civic uprising? Do you have any inspiration, hope for them?
Fridays are donut days at Dunkin' Donuts, so don't miss out on that. No, I think, we're going to get through it. We've gotten through it all before, and we have a lot on our plates right now. I mean, there's the pandemic, there's the, all the layoffs and all the unemployment, and I am a part of that now. I mean, I did eventually go on to furlough. So there's that, and then there's now this racial. I'm hoping that now that everyone is stuck in their houses and they're not busy and they don't have a lot of other things to focus on, that we can focus on the racial issues in our country and find a solution. Because if not now, I don't know when there would be a better time to address this once and for all. So give a thought to that. I will be going to a protest myself tomorrow. And
New York.
Please wear a mask. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, if every single human being wore a mask for 3 weeks, the virus would be gone, because it would have no way to get to another person. It needs to travel from one person to another to stay alive. So if we all just stay with our own little virus and kill it in our own little bodies before we expose anyone else to our germs, then the whole thing goes away. I mean, there might be a vaccine someday, but there might not be. There's no vaccine for HIV. So we don't know whether or not they're going to be developed one, and we don't know how long it'll take. We don't know how effective it'll be, but we do know what we can do to control the spread. So, risk, reward, just manage your risk, get out there, enjoy life, but wear a mask. Now I sound like Cuomo now, right?
No, thank you so much for that. I live in an old motel that's been turned over, and they rent out to half veterans and just half people that need a cheap place to live. And there's 6 of these motels in Vegas. It's called Veterans Village. And at the beginning of the pandemic, somebody was carted out of here in hazmat by people in hazmat suits, taken to the hospital, a veteran. He got kicked out of the hospital before he got his test results because he didn't keep his whatchamacallit covered up for whatever side reason there was. That's a whole nother Oprah talk show.
Well, there are all these nurses everywhere. Can you blame the guy? All right, anyway.
Exactly. I mean, how are you going to keep it covered up when it's that large? And so when he came back here, he did not know if he was positive or not. And they came back to tell him he was the next day. And so he was quarantined by law, but he did not stay in his room. And he would come out. And so I had a hissy fit. I even posted it on Facebook, and unfortunately he was a friend of mine and saw it on Facebook and private messaged me. So I blocked him. But how stupid.
No, yes, especially knowing for a fact that you're positive and you're symptomatic. We're transmitting it without being symptomatic.
Thank you.
So, once you start coughing, you've been spreading it around for a while. So if you get a test and it comes back positive, it's just really selfish to walk around and expose other people. It's not just selfish to those people, but the whole community, the whole country, really. Because the virus doesn't need much to travel. It just needs to go from one person to the next person.
Yes. So anyway, that's that. And do you have a place on the internet where I know you've got your Facebook, Lauren Turczak.
I do, Lauren Turczak. I'm just at my own name, not hiding behind anything.
And then your email is your PayPal that you gave to us the last time we tried to tape this and it failed. What's your email again?
It's Lauren, so LAUREN, S as in Sam, P as in Peter, L as in Larry @gmail.com. Lauren SPL @gmail.
What's it like to have a husband that has something in common with Neil Diamond?
I'm looking at him now. I don't know. He
Does he think
does like
that's
to
funny?
sing, or he used to like to sing anyway. Yeah. He likes to garden. I got him a mixer as an early Father's Day present, so I'm hoping for some baked goods. He likes to bake.
Did he just get upset with me for saying that joke?
He did not. He's got me in the house. It takes a lot to upset him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I wanted to see his face. I've never seen him.
Oh, well,
He
hold
didn't
on.
come to 76 house.
Can you see him back there?
Hi.
Wave, hon. There he is.
Hi.
I don't know if there's a
Nice
zoom
to
on this
see
thing.
you. You have a wonderful wife. I love her to pieces.
He's doing thumbs up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'll let you go. And thank you
All right.
so much for coming on my show twice back to back to get
You're
the
welcome. They
taping.
didn't get they're probably better off with this version because there's not as much ranting going on. So
We really ranted about the government and all the mistakes.
Yes, you can just check my Facebook wall. You'll get a basic general idea of where I stand on things. I don't do any of that on stage though. On stage, I just want everybody to be happy, but my wall is my space. So those are my views and you're welcome to, read them or not.
Yes. When you're on stage these days, what is the essence of what you do talk about? And then I'll let you know.
I go everything from, just mundane things like the weather to things with my family. Some of my stuff comes directly from conversations I've had with my daughter. So yeah, there's a little bit of everything in there. I talk about my husband's Parkinson's. It depends on how long the set is too.
Yeah.
So,
They met Becky on the last show that didn't tape. Is Becky still around to poke her head in?
Are you around to poke your head in?
Come correct your mother. She might make a mistake. You might have to correct her. Hi, Becky.
Hi.
Thanks for popping your head in.
All right. Bye,
Okay.
Becky. Okay.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
You're welcome. Have a good day, Facebook.
Bye. Lauren
Bye.
Turczak. Get out and support her. Book her.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.